the status of the negotiations?
So I don't know if we would classify them as negotiations. I think we'll call them conversations. Today, Chicago Public Schools released the list of their technical advisory council, and we weren't on it. The names we submitted were not on it. But that's not a surprise. And because that's business as usual. Yes, sir. So we will, continue to work and have conversations with Chicago Public Schools as we fight for an elected representative school board. Quick announcement, next Tuesday at 4 p.m. there'll be a citywide rally celebrating the hunger strike and talking about the fight for an elected representative school board in the city, which we think is directly connected to the reason why we had to starve our bodies, because through traditional means our voices didn't matter.
How many conversations have you had? The only district in the state that's not elected is this school board, which is a political chicanery.
Yes, sir.
And so I asked if an elected school board is reasonable, because the same access to education and green technology to do in Naperville is reasonable.
That's right.
Equal protection under the law is reasonable. One set of rules is reasonable. We play these kids from the suburbs in basketball, we stand a chance of winning because the playing field is even and the rules are public. And the goals are clear and the referees are fair and the score is transparent. We must have at least the same opportunity to be chemists and physicists and artists as we do playing basketball and running track. And that's the great international victory these parents have won today.
That's
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
How many conversations have you had, and what is the timetable for that? You have a list of demands, a couple of them have been met. What is the status of that?
Well, there is no timetable. We want to be part of the infrastructure and the planning of how this school shapes out, and we'll continue to push on that. But there's no deadline date or anything like that. We're pleased that there are conversations, and we'll continue to work to make sure that those conversations are fruitful.
And Reverend Wilson is your representative, is that correct?
Reverend Wilson,
Yes.
Reverend Jackson, and Senator Raoul.
What do you think of the names that are on the list, and do you?
Those are fine. I mean, those names, we have no issue with the people that are on the list. We just want to be on that list too. Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what your representatives are communicating to the district? I mean, I don't know if it's fair to call them demands, or what are you asking for specifically from the district now?
Yeah, we want to make sure that the school has green technology in the curriculum. Green technology is the #1 growth industry in the United States. We love the arts. We think the arts are important. But the fact is, the #1 industry that leads to unemployment is the arts. And as Reverend Jackson just taught a moment ago, in a community with 25–30% unemployment, that's not practical. We should be preparing our young people to compete in the 21st century and be able to move into 21st century industry, employment, and careers. We're flexible. We've always been flexible. We're willing to hear other ideas at the table, but we want to be heard. And I think that's what Reverend Jackson said. Did you know that outside of Montclair, New Jersey, every other city that has an appointed school board or state takeover or recovery school district is a school district that serves primarily children of color? You won't find appointed school boards in the hills of West Virginia. You won't find them in rural Tennessee or rural Kentucky. This is a voting right, this is a racial justice and a voting rights issue. That as if the struggles in our schools historically have been because we had the right to vote. No, the struggle in our schools has been a lack of equity, and I think the case of this hunger strike should make that extremely clear to people. The fact that while we were starving ourselves on the 25th day, the mayor was having a ribbon cutting at Lincoln Elementary School, giving them a $22 million annex, and they deserve it. But by God, so do our children. Our children deserve it too. And that disregard should be glaring to everyone here.
Let me also say, and what makes it even more practical, in the front door of Dyett is Washington Park, a green zone. Trees and flowers and lagoons. It's a green tech foundation. Everything about it makes sense. Again, these parents using nonviolent discipline, using their bodies as living sacrifices, have made something that must be contagious around this city as we fight for an elected school board. Around this country, parents assume responsibility for the outcome of their youth, not just accepting them, but graduating them with relevant information. We will also have at that school a library, like 146 schools in this city do not have. There'll be a library in this school.
That's it.
And they will graduate, and they'll graduate with honors, and they'll make all of us proud. And it's cheaper to educate them than to incarcerate them. Everything about this school makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Has the mayor returned your phone calls?
Don't start, start some stuff.
And just, this is important to note also, as Ms. Strasburg tries to start something, we want to make it important to note that we stand in unity with parents in New Orleans, who after Hurricane Katrina lost all their public schools. We stand in unity with parents and young people in Philadelphia, where when they closed 24 schools in 2013, they were in the process of building 2 new prisons. We stand in unity with parents and young people in Detroit, who've lost their entire school system. We stand in unity with parents in Baltimore, who have seen the loss of dozens of schools, or in Pittsburgh, where 100 schools have been closed. We stand in unity with those parents, and our story is very similar to theirs. We don't have the right to vote, and neither do they. And we are committed to making sure that that ends. That an elected representative school board, while it is not a panacea, it is not the silver bullet, it's a necessary ingredient to having education justice in this city. Any other questions?
If talks stall, what is your plan of action?
I think, yeah, our plan of action moving forward is to continue to advocate for the type of the education our children deserve. Again, there'll be a citywide rally next Tuesday. We are pushing extremely hard for an elected representative school board. We've never been this close to one before. We are close. And
55 votes.
we have 55 co-sponsors on a bill for an elected representative school board. So we think the time is now to make that happen. The popularity and the support that we've won in the city, also statewide, I think shines the light on the need for an elected representative school board.
Tell about the action day at 5:30.
At 5:30 today, Reverend, we will be having a dinner to honor the people that supported the hunger strike. All of the supporters from Teachers for Social Justice, Chicago Teachers Union, Parents for Teachers, Virginia Burns Hope Center, Rainbow Push Coalition, every organization, those that I've mentioned and those that I'm not mentioning now, that have supported us, and our families that have dealt with us over the last 34 days. I know I haven't been easy to deal with. So this is my wife. That's my wife and my son right there. You see her rolling eyes like, you know he hasn't. Yeah. That's my little linebacker right there. But it's pretty good too, right? They call him Baby Crunch. But so we'll be having a dinner today to make sure that we just show our appreciation to people that have supported this effort. It would not have been possible without the support. We never wanted for a bottle of water or juice. People even brought incense and candles, and we were very well taken care of. We were checked. We had medical professionals that checked on us twice a day. There were some of us that probably had no business being on a hunger strike, and we made it through because of the love and the consistency that was shown.
Needed one.
Yes, sir. All right, press conference over. No,
Thank you very much.
but we do want to thank everyone again, and we thank the media for coming. Are there any final questions?
Where are you having dinner?
We're having dinner at Popeyes. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to be upstairs on the second floor in the community room. All right.
Press is invited to eat
Absolutely.
at the end.
Any other questions? All right, so thank you very much. Thank you.